Well, my beautiful people, you see, I got a different look today. This is like one of them old Nicki Minaj looks. That's what I feel like today. uh, so, good evening. Welcome back to my double R, double C, my Real Resilient Conversations crew. It is so amazing and so wonderful to have you back. I have missed y'all. And let me tell you, everything that's been going on with my health, with my um, retirement ceremony going on, with me trying to find my way out of the military. Let me tell you, it has not been easy, and it is only Monday. So I want to tell y'all happy Monday. Today is April 11th. The time is 8:07 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I am so happy and amazed and ever so gracious that you took the time out today to come and share with me. So, of course, if you have not heard, for those of you that are first timers, only been around a couple times or still trying to figure this thing out. So my name is Quita Quee. I'm your host. And of course, the topic for today is dancing in the rain. So for those of you that come to get your bi-weekly hookup, let me know what y'all thought when you heard that the topic was dancing in the rain. And I did leave the background tropical for a reason. We're gonna dive into that in a little bit, but I want y'all to know that there's always a method to my madness. God uses my thoughts and my mind in a different kind of way when it comes to topics. So those of you that are here for your bi-weekly fill up, tell me what y'all think when you hear of the topic dancing in the rain, and how does that even relate to real resiliency, right? For those of you, this is your first time coming on, trying to see what's going on, just trying to peek in and see. I really want you to know that this is your day, right? This is your day, your time to really kind of get a filler out there. But when you're talking about dancing in the rain, there's so much that we're just gonna like tiptoe around, and then we're just gonna dive into a couple areas, right? So of course we're gonna talk about our definition. We're gonna look at what does it mean to still feel joy when you're talking about dancing in the rain versus the desert season, and to retreat or not to retreat. And so when you are right having joy in the midst of the storm, absolutely. So when you're talking about how I use quirky, crazy topics and I spin it around just to try and make you more resilient, that is exactly what I want you to think of. That is spot on. First things first. Absolutely. I want you to still have joy in the midst of the storm. And when you're thinking about the storm, okay, we can always think about the natural storms of life. But when you think about the natural storms of life, what does that even mean, right? So not letting the rain or you can interject whatever word, this person, this situation, my finances, whatever that might be, not letting that, right, ruin your current situation. And when we're thinking about while you're waiting for the rain to pass, what are you missing? What are you losing? What time are you missing out on? What opportunities are you missing out on, right? So changing the way that you see things will change the way that you view things. I'm sorry, changing the way that you see things will change the way that you think about things. And if you can change it in your mind to not just go with what we are comfortable with, right? But to really go back and say, how am I thinking? And is my thinking stinking thinking, and it's ruining what inevitably should be the opportunity for me to take on this challenge as an opportunity, right? Those who dance in the rain, when you think about that, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you see people and they say they're dancing in the rain? You're like, you know what? You know what? For my melanated people, when you say somebody is dancing in the rain, you like, I just got my hair done, my makeup all cute today. Not doing that. Right? But if you can have somebody that's willing to walk with you and dance in the rain, those are the same people that will walk with you through the roller coasters of life, right? When you're talking about the different ups and downs, the peaks and the valleys that go with everyday life, right? What are we doing to really change that? So, of course, we're starting off with dancing in the rain. I see a couple of my peeps came on. Thank y'all so much for joining me. So how you see things can also have a direct impact on your relationships. So what type of relationships? Does it necessarily still have to be intimate relationships? Does it have to be family? Does it have to be friends? Does it have to be work? Because sometimes our coworkers be about to work it, baby. They be, ooh, you be like, Jesus be offense. Right? So when we're talking about that, I see Ebony say having joy in the midst of the storm. How you doing? Vaughn, how you doing, Reggie? Thank y'all so much for joining. So when you're talking about feeling joy in the midst of dancing in the rain, what kind of thoughts go through your mind when you're thinking of still feeling joy in the midst of dealing with you walking in the rain, dancing in the rain? What happens if you get locked out of your car in the rain? What type of things do you think you have to change in order for you to not feel that you need to change the situation, but to just, you're stuck in the rain? What else can you do? Right? For example, if you came out of the mall or something, the mall is now closed, and since the mall is closed, what else can you do? Now you stuck out in the rain. You gotta hope that security's gonna pass back around to come and get you, right? Do you know how to take challenges head on and enjoy the journey? And that is something I had to learn and still learning. I can't just say I already learned it and still learning. Hey, boo, how you doing? So whenever you're going through the journey, you're like, this is not, so they say make a plan and then watch how God laughs, right? So the journey is always, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna have these kids when I'm this age, I'm gonna be married, I'm gonna be happy, I'm gonna live in this nice house, I'm gonna have this type of car, I'm not gonna have financial woes. And then God laughs and he says, okay, I got a path for you too. And your journey goes up, down, crisscross, double round, going behind you, going in front of you, going to the side. And you're like, I thought we were just going this way. Why you directing me to go to the right, go to the left? It becomes you like, I can't. But when you are trying to enjoy those challenges head on, if you think about a track star, right? Track stars, whenever they are running, they see the hurdle ahead. Do they stop and are they afraid of it, or do they tackle it head on? They use everything, all their training, all their skills in order to get over that hurdle. So what I'm giving you today is just some of the training and the skills to help you to get over that hurdle. Does it make sense, y'all? So joy is within the journey. If you really look at the word journey, there's going to be some letters, some obstacles, some things that you're going to that is going to make it hard for you to find the joy. But you still, once you remove, right, once you remove the letters, you still find the joy. So whatever obstacles that are in your way, whatever challenges, whatever things that are that you find that you're like, I can't deal with this right now. As soon as you get enough strength to move those things out of the way, and you get rid of the why you really can't do it or what is holding you back, that is when you find out that, oh, okay, now it's making sense. Now I'm starting to understand, right? Because you've gone from just the journey, but then finding the joy within the journey. If that makes sense. Anybody else? Does that make sense to y'all? So when you're talking about the journey, what are ways in which the rain and the rains of life seem to challenge you? Right? Because there are so many things that challenge you on a day to day. What are those the rains of life, the things that fall down on you that seem to overtake you? So for me right now, it's trying to figure out where I'm gonna move to, what the house situation is gonna look like, what my finances are going to look like. All of that is changing within the next 6 to 9 months, right? So my thought process is really different versus how it was on a year, 2 years, 3 years ago, because then I was not thinking about retirement. Like I was talking about it, I was like, yeah, I'm moving to Austin, and then it came and it was like, Austin's not gonna happen, and I was like, I know where am I going, what I'm gonna do, right? Because then it changes. It changed my journey, and I had to find joy with wherever God is going to send me, whatever opportunities are available to me. That's what I'm going to do, right? And so if the rain of life is going to mess up my hair, it's going to mess up my makeup, it's going to make me gain weight, it's going to make me right? Because now I'm dealing with a situation. I put on 20 pounds since December. And I'm like, yo, nobody can tell me why. Instead of me always saying I'm fat, this is what's going on, I look this way, I can't fit nothing, I'm like, somebody gonna love these butter rolls, baby. They gonna have to take it or leave it. Because that's what they get. Right? So, in order to find the things that are cold or uncomfortable or make you feel a certain kind of way, right? Figure out within that journey, whatever that journey might be, where your joy still lies, right? And because it's easy for us to in life to look at the tears of joy that also ruin our makeup, but then we're not upset about that when your makeup's messed up, right? With the wind rolling through your hair while you riding down the road, you ain't worried about your hair then. But when the twists and turns of life, when it rains, now your hair is messed up, now you're in a whole different mood, right? But it's because the things that we enjoy or that we are attempting to do is the thing that we're willing to let ruin or change our day. It's when the rain is something that's either unexpected or you hear that it's coming. The forecast says it's coming, and it's up to you to say either be prepared or not be prepared. Or even if you are prepared, but then you left your raincoat or you left your umbrella in the car, you like, dang, it's in the car, right? What am I supposed to do if it's in the car, right? It gives you the opportunity to say, hey, it'll be all right. Either I'm gonna run to the car or I'll get there and I'll warm up when I get in the car, right? Because you still have the opportunity, right, to even though it's gonna be cold and uncomfortable, you still have the opportunity to change your mindset about it, right? You don't want to miss the forest for the trees, right? You're looking at it too close and you don't see the joy within the journey. So when you're letting the rain run off your shoulders, you letting it rinse away your cares. It's kind of like I cannot remember if it is the monks or if it is someone else, but I think it's in India, and they have a time during the monsoon season that they will sit in the rain and meditate. And I'm thinking, oh, that has got to be miserable, right? When I first read it, it's got to be miserable. It's cold, it's wet, everything from your head to your toe is just wet and it's cold. Or if they're in the rainforest, is humid, it's wet, you just like, ugh. But they figure out how to find the joy within that journey. And I've said, maybe that's something that I need to do, right? Look at feeling the joy within each journey, within each change of life, right? So when we're looking at the rain versus the desert, what do you think the rain versus the desert has anything to do with resiliency? What do y'all think? Because if you really think about it, they both are, in some essence, an extreme or something that we need to be prepared for. So when you're thinking about the rain versus the desert, right? The repeated sound of the rain can become therapeutic. It's when you have to feel what should have been therapeutic, and now you have to figure out how to make it a good feeling or how to make it feel good, how to make it seem good, right? While y'all got time, can you go down there and do me a favor and share this so that other people have the opportunity to look at it while we're having the time to really go in here and share that, the opportunity, right? So the repeated sounds, it gives your body time, right? When you're listening to it, the first thing it gives your body time to adjust. So it knows that it's coming. You can smell the rain. It gives your senses time to take that in, right? You're listening to it. You're smelling the rain. You put your hand out there to see how bad is it raining. Is it real cold? Is it kind of warm? Is it a warm summer rain, right? All of your senses give you time to become flexible to whatever situation is coming your way. And when you're thinking about the things that are coming your way, it's not always a good thing, right? For people that are getting out of relationships or marriages or funerals, right? But it is still yet a change. Your body will find a way to naturally cope. And I know that there's a lot of ways that people cope, right? Even though there's a lot of ways that people cope, our bodies are made to cope, whether it be in a swift way or in a longer term way, right? But it will make you quicker on your feet because you've already been there. You know what it's going to expect or what you're expecting it to look and feel like. And then once it changes, how are you going to be quick on your feet to change? Because what happens when it's like just sprinkling a little bit, you're like, okay, I can walk to the car. You start hearing that rain come down, you be like, well, let me walk a little quicker. Let me pick up these feet real quick. Right? Now you're taking it because now you gotta adjust. If you got a baby and the baby walking slow, you're gonna pick the baby up, you're gonna make it happen. So, because you are learning to practice a state of self care. So in the desert, you have to do a sense of state of self care too, right? You got to take into account to how much water you have, how much food you have, because you're out in the desert. You have to take into account other animals, different terrains. Just like with rain, if it's a light rain, if it's a sprinkle, if it's a thunderstorm, what type of ways are you practicing self care? By taking care of yourself, by analyzing what's going on around you, what you have control over versus what you don't have control over. That is where I want you to really think about the rain versus the desert. They're similar, yet at certain times, with the different stages in life, comes different hurdles, comes different, right? So with that, then there's days that you feel like you're in the desert. Everything is dry, everything is hot, you got to get it done now. And then there's days that you're like, I can't, I can't do this. It's not in me to do today. Because then you're like, I don't have it in me. I don't have enough time to adjust, which is really what we're saying to ourselves, is that I don't have enough time to adjust. I'm more comfortable being in the dry states where it's hot. I got to finish up all this other stuff rather than me be wet and then I have to be uncomfortable in order for me to get to a place that is going to be safe, right? So if it is lightning, it's thunderstorms, and it's raining, the safety is in the vehicle or is inside the house. However, we are more apt to um, just say, that's not, I'm going to just stand right here. If you got to get to the grocery store, you got to get to the hospital, you got to get to work, you're going to have to deal with what? The weather. You got to deal with the hot days when your car seats are going to burn your skin as soon as you sit down. And you got to deal with the rainy days where you might end up with a whole uniform, whole outfit that's soaking wet. And either way, you will adjust. So I know that when I was thinking about the desert versus the rain, sandstorms are also conditions, right? Sandstorms, the desert. Sandstorms are also a condition for rain. There's somebody in your life that they're praying for rain because everything in their life, it seems like it's too much, it's too hot, right? And they're just praying for the rain. Yet there's someone else that has the rain. They're like, when is the sun coming back? Give me some days where I'm like, it's hot, I can do something else, right? But when you're stuck in that rain, because a rainstorm gives you the opportunity for, because the sand can't soak up rain like what I would think that it's sand. It's going to turn into mud, but it's not the same. And with a rainstorm that happens in the desert, you trying to get the best of both worlds. However, that sandstorm turned into a rainstorm has now caused flooding, and now you are on a whole river of sand that is flooding, right? You have to think about, be mindful of what we say and what we think. And when those thoughts or those things that you want to say come out of your mouth, what can you do to change that thinking? I always tell myself I have 7 seconds to change what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, and what I'm saying. And there's some days that I'm like, it's not worth the battle. So being very strategic, just like in the military, being very strategic with what you're doing, how you're saying, or what you're saying, you have to be very strategic about what you're thinking, what you're speaking, and what you're allowing into your space. And I'm going to talk about that here in a little bit, okay? So, looking at retreat or not to retreat, that is the question, if y'all don't mind a little Shakespeare. The monsoon season, usually are caused by a retreat of the winds due to the weakening of pressure or something, because then that's during the time that the sun shifts more towards the equator, so that causes a whole different magnitude of how weather in itself, or in essence, really speaks to the way that it rains or it pours or it becomes hotter. And that's why with different areas have different seasons, right? So when they are going through a monsoon type of season, it can be just like the monsoon seasons of our lives where it seems like everything is happening at once. the monsoon seasons of our lives can be 2 months, 2 years, 2 days, 2 hours. It doesn't matter. However, just know, you know that it's coming. You can see it coming. It's already been forecasted that it's coming. All you can do is figure out how you can handle the situation, right? What you can do to change how you're going to react to it. And it's easy for us to just run away, hide, not deal with the challenges of life. Um, but will the issue leave or is it gonna stay? And the thing is, usually our issues be like, I see you when you get back, go ahead. You gonna go hang out with your friends when you get back, these clothes gonna still be here. When you go and then you wonder if I can go out to eat, but then your bank account say, nay, nay, I say. It's still gonna be there. What are you gonna do to change your financial obligations, your bills, whatever? It's still gonna be there. And I think retreating inside until you're strong enough is not necessarily a bad thing, right? If I know I have crutches and I have to get to the car, which is on the other side, now have to think, is that safe, or is it wise for me to wait until I can get someone to take me to where I need to be, because I'm not strong enough or I'm not able to do it for whatever I am not able to at this moment. Doesn't mean that I don't want to. It just means that I'm not strong enough to deal with it. And sometimes we have to take some self-care time and step back and say, I want to do it. However, it's not wise for me to do it, right? And I say that a lot with my fibromyalgia. And I say, I want to go. I want to do this and that and be able to bounce around. However, my body is saying, no, no. Have a seat, girl. Okay. Excuse me. Go have a seat. And I think when we're looking at the lessons of life, right? So I'm gonna tell y'all one is on a intimate relationship type, right? So I was dating this guy and we met and he was upfront. He was like, hey, I just got out of a relationship. I just want to really just have some female company. If I want to go out to dinner or I just want to hang out, watch a movie, I'm not really looking for a relationship. And I was like, well, cool. I got other things going on in my life. Not looking for a relationship right now. I don't mind being friends. However, I don't want anything intimate as far as us being together as one, right? So I reiterated, I don't want to be somebody's personal 3-letter word toy. However, if that is what you're looking for, I may be the wrong one. He said, of course not. I don't expect that to be, what you will be, because you're not that type of woman. Wonderful. Pressing on, I realized that people say things that they don't really mean, right? Because months after that, then he upset if somebody's talking to me. He upset if I don't answer the phone. He upset if I don't text back. He upset if I go out to dinner with somebody else. Sir, need I remind you, we are not together. And need I remind you that we will not be together. Nor do you have any say so in what I do. Wonderful. And I think because I am such an empath, it is easy for me to take on other people and to take in their energy, and yet they are the ones that reap the benefit. They are the ones that are like, when I'm around you, you just change everything, you make everything feel better, right? And I'm like, because I don't have a problem dancing in the rain. Meaning that life around me can look chaotic. Everything that's going through my head, everything that's going on with my body is chaotic. However, am I still going to smile when I see someone? Am I still going to be the person that has the opportunity to change the environment in the room? Absolutely. Because that's who I am. I'm not trying to become anything less than who I am already. Right? And so it's okay for me to dance when I still feel that I should be at a different place in my life, or I should have a significant other by my side, or I should have a child by now. Whatever I thought my should be is, the journey hasn't gotten there yet. And so the time is for me to just enjoy whatever the journey is and find the joy in it, right? I could have been the way that you get to others is not necessarily the way that your blessings may return back to you. Meaning that if I am taking the time out to change someone's day, to change the energy, to change how they see things, how they view things, to change how they converse with someone or how they think about certain things, for me, it may not come back to me in that same way. It may come back to me with an extra day alive on this earth. It may come back to me as not having a barren womb, it may come back to me, right? So whatever those ways that it can come back to me, I might not be in a physically abusive relationship. I might not be living on the streets or having a bunch of children by a bunch of different men. Whatever my way that I have been blessed is what I focus on. Not because of where I thought my journey was going to put me yet, but how the journey has gave me the opportunity to really enjoy what God has created me to be, right? 20 years under my belt in the military, never would have thought the amount of lives I've had the opportunity to touch. And this gives you the opportunity to like, share, and subscribe so that maybe if it's not just for you, it may be for someone else, right? You share it with them, and then all of a sudden it takes off, and it's like, oh, what she said might not have been for me at that time, but I know somebody else that this might can help. Maybe they just need a different way to change their mindset just to see what it means to really dance in the rain, right? So I am 2 minutes over my time. That is my time. I hope that y'all enjoyed tonight. Dancing in the rain, and I hope that it gave you an opportunity to jumpstart, hook them up, and jumpstart your resiliency journey. Enjoy the things that are available to you, right, and for you. And I'm grateful that you took the time to join me. I ask that you come back on the 25th of April because it's going to be knock, knock, knock. Who's that knocking on my door? I thought I was going to say window. I know how some of y'all think. It was Who's Knocking at the Door. It's going to be our 25th of April at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's what we're going to be talking about. So trust me, you don't want to miss this. I'm always trying to find ways to bless you all. So with that being said, don't be late. I might be a couple minutes. It just depends on how this body's doing. But don't be late to the party. I can't wait to see you. So until then, love, peace, joy, and happiness. I'll be here, the same place with the same face. And I cannot wait to see you. Y'all be safe until then. Never let nobody else steal your joy. Be blessed, y'all. See ya.